Hi everyone, it's Monday night and here we are again, the Tilt Ladies. But as you can see, we are -1. Zen is off chasing her dream. She never quit on it, and she's somewhere over on the side, the Asian side, and probably out trying to buy some chopsticks or something like that so she can eat from now on. But in all seriousness, she has landed, but she told us that it would probably be very difficult for her to get on for this one tonight, but we'll see her back next week. So we're going to move right along. And I want to welcome all of you. It's our usual Monday night, which is so exciting to all of us because this is when we get the opportunity to motivate you, to inspire you, to train you, whatever it is that you need for that week to get through it. Because you can't quit this week. We're not going to allow it. You never, ever quit on your dream. And I want you to know as an entrepreneur that there will be times in your world when you think, I got to give up. I've been there. I've done it. But that's not going to happen. And tonight, you're going to hear from the 4 other ladies on this panel. And each one of us are going to tell you something significant that kept us going. And we're going to help you because truly you do feel quite a bit alone when you get down to that point where you think, I've given this all I can give it and I just can't give it anymore. Oh, yes, you can. Don't say that. Don't stop there. And quitting on your dream is never an option. It's just not an option. Now, I don't know what your dream is, but I can venture to say that all of our dreams are something in similarity as to the fact that it's got to do with freedom. Because once we get our freedom and we all dream of that, then the world is our oyster. Like how many times do you drive into work and you think, boy, if I didn't have this job, I would be out there doing that. Or, boy, if I didn't have these kids right now, I would have done something else. Not that you'd ever trade your kids, but that's a common feeling when you are raising children. There is always something else that captivates us not to allow us to break forward in our dream. So whatever that is, whether it's finances, whether it's children, whether it's the job, whether it's health, I don't know. You have come to us tonight because you have pushed through that. You've gone and decided, I am going after my dream. I don't know what your dream is, like I said a few minutes ago, but I do know what my dream was. And pulling into a parking lot where my office was every single morning and sitting there either praying or crying or just numb because I did not want to go into that building, that it was affecting my whole world. So I knew I had to do something about it because I was bringing it home, and that's never pleasant. Or when you went out with friends, you were discussing it. So I made that decision that, you know what, I actually don't know what my dream is, but I'm going to do something about it, and I got to get out of here in order to go ahead and do it. Now, I'm not recommending you run out and quit your job. I'm not saying that, but for me, my job was some kind of an atmosphere that maybe you just didn't, it was toxic. It was very negative. So I knew I had to move on to go after any kind of a promising dream, and that's exactly what I did. I quit a very, very well-paying job, and I came home and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So, when you put it out to the universe about your dream, and you don't know what it is, you just know you want something better, it always happens. It does. It always delivers, and it usually over-delivers. And the company that we are all in is Empower Network, and it fell into my lap one afternoon that it should have never fallen into my lap, but somebody had a plan. And from that day on, I thought, I'm going after my dream. This will give me the freedom. This will give me what I'm looking for. It will give me the happiness. It will give me the joy. And I jumped in both feet, and in all truthfulness, after about 3 months, it was like I was sort of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Nobody could find me because I just wasn't, I was just in that mode. This isn't for me. I can't do this. I can't make it work. There's too much to it. I have to learn stuff. And I thought it's overwhelming. And, you know, I really had to slap myself up the side of the head and say, you know, that's the problem with people. They want it so easy nowadays. They don't want to put the work in. They don't want to chase their dream with every single bit of passion that you've got inside of you. And I'm telling you all out there, if you don't have that passion, if you don't muster up that passion, well, the odds are pretty good maybe you won't get your dream. And are you really ready to let that go? Seriously. I came to the, and everybody has times in their life where they just, you know, think, I can't do it. Okay, you know, feel sorry for yourself. Take that time, have your own little pity party. I've had more than one right here. And but I've always gotten back on that horse, and I thought, darn it, I can do this. I can master it. And then you will have a breakthrough. It doesn't matter if it's just one person reaching out to you. It doesn't matter if it's just one blog that you write that people are, wow, that helped me get through what I was thinking about or how I was feeling, or it motivated me. It's just that you got to keep going. Now, that's so easy for somebody to say. You just got to keep going, right? And it isn't. I know it isn't. But honest to God, look at your why and look at what you get out of your why. If you've got freedom over here and happiness and health and financial freedom, isn't that beautiful to put over in this hand to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do? And I'm not saying travel the world. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying in your heart, you know, and that is exactly what's happening to me. From just trying to learn this business, all of a sudden I realized a higher purpose. It took me a while, but I realized that I had this higher purpose, and it was to help other people get their dream. And that's one of the things that was born out of that was Tilt, this Tilt Hour. I mean, when we all realize that, you know what, we all have this gift and we need to utilize it and we need to share it. I want to help everybody I can out there get your dream, because you all deserve it. Every single one of you. You've been put on this earth with a gift, and you'll never convince me that you haven't had some kind of a dream in the back of your head. You know, boy, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could go there, or I wish I could buy that, or whatever. There is some kind of a dream out there, and so don't stop on it. Don't quit on it. Don't even put it on a slow burner. Get at it. But you know, I really get where people say to me, well, you're not in my shoes, so you don't know what I've gone through to be able to get to my dream. Well, let me tell you a story about close and dear to my heart. And yeah, I mean, I love this guy with, I'd probably lay down my life for him. Not probably, I probably would. And the man I'm talking about is my boy, my son. And some of you know the story. He's raising his two boys by himself. Sullivan is now just turned 11 tomorrow, and Max is soon going to be 8. And when Max was 14 months, his mommy died, and which was Sullivan's mommy too, Jane. She died of that horrible C word. And Jason was left raising the two boys on his own. And one of the dreams that he and Jane had, and this was an idea that they had because of a journey that she had gone on as a child. But when she was 10, her parents traveled the world. They took a year. He had a vet business, and he just sold it, and away they went and traveled for a year with Jane and her sister. And that really, really had an effect on her. So Jason and Jane always said to each other, you know, when the boys or when our children, when they get married, when our children get to such an age, we are going to travel. We're going to take a year and we're going to travel the world, because you can learn more by traveling like that than you could reading 1,000 books. You just can. Well, life's not fair, and it doesn't always go as you plan, and Jane passed away. And it took him a couple of years. I mean, for the first few years, he was, you know, he did well to get out of bed and get them their breakfast. You know, his world had been taken upside down. But then he said, you know what? I've got this dream too. I've got this dream. And at that point, which was 4 years ago, he decided, and he started setting money aside every single paycheck that he got. And he left on Saturday for his dream around the world with the 2 boys. And he went through massive, massive things to get his dream. That's his dream, the journey, the traveling. And Sullivan, through that now, Sullivan, who is 11 tomorrow, he's got this dream. And part of it is he's walking with his mom through this dream. He's so excited because they found an old pair of her shoes, and he's wearing her shoes on some of this journey. And it's like his mom is stepping with him. And one of the things that he wants to do is go scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef. And they found out that that was the one thing that his mom wanted to do when she was 10 and went after it. So the dream keeps going. And Jason never let it stop him. He could have tucked that dream under a pillow and said, yeah, this is just too much. I can't do this. I'm a single dad, and I've got to concentrate on raising them. But he didn't. He went off the norm, and that's what dreams are all about. You've got to say, I can do this. There are days you need help, reach out. Reach out to any one of us. Reach out to your best friend. Reach out to your partner. Reach out to somebody. Trust me, their words will get you through that. But don't ever give up on your dreams. God puts a dream in your heart so that you can have it. Take it. No matter what you do, what you have to do to get through it. Just take it, okay? And that's about all I've got to say to you guys tonight. Don't ever quit on your dream. Don't ever quit on your dream. So, Shirley May, is there something that you could add to that?
Wow, Nettie. You know, I think the biggest thing that people can take away from tonight is just what you said, is that, you know, we never know how long we have. And, you know, thankfully, Jane, in the short life she had, she made a big enough impression on following her own dreams that, you know, her family was able to do the same. And I think that when you don't go after your dreams, who are you letting down, right? So I apologize for my lighting right now. I am surrounded by these little candles. I forgot to put lights in my room that I usually do video on. And that's one thing that can keep you back from going after your dream, is when things aren't perfect, when you don't have a nice laptop, you don't have nice lighting. Anyway, I don't want that to hold you back, right? You've gotta focus on who you want to help and in your dream, and it is so much easier to not quit on your dream when you think of all the people that you want to help. So tonight I want to share a quick story of a time when I did give up on a dream, and I want to share with you what happened, and I also want to share with you a couple points, 5 or 6 points on why you shouldn't give up in your dreams from what I learned from my experience. So when I gave up on my dreams was when I got married. I got married at 19, and we were saddled with a lot of debt. Some of it from our wedding, but some of it was from businesses that I had started. I got started on my entrepreneurial quest pretty young. I think I was 17, 18. And I went to seminars, I read books, and I went into a lot of debt doing that. And so after we got married, I decided all I wanted to do was, get a job, pay off our debt, and, pay off our mortgage in, 20 years. I resigned myself to that life because I thought, I need to grow up. I want to have kids. This is what I need to do. I need to be responsible. And so I started a full-time job serving coffee in a drive-thru. And when that wasn't enough, I got a second job. And I was working, 14 to 15-hour days, and 6 days a week, and my life was falling apart. I gained a ton of weight, and my breakthrough happened when I was driving down a road late at night. It was a snowstorm, and the roads were closing, and I was almost home, and I got pulled over by a cop, and he told me that I couldn't go home. And at that moment, I realized that I was done risking my life for mediocrity. I was literally risking my life. If I started off walking for home, and if a municipal officer wouldn't have picked me up, I would have froze to death because I wasn't wearing proper clothes. So it just made me realize that this is not working. I was working as hard as I could work. Our debt wasn't getting paid off. The money was mysteriously, being spent elsewhere, I guess, and it wasn't working. And I then realized that when you think about giving up on your dream because it's too hard, do you really think that after you give up that your life is suddenly going to be easy? Right? The thing is, guys, you got to choose your hard, right? Life is going to be hard going after your dreams. Life is going to be hard giving up. In fact, it's probably going to be harder, right? So I just want to share with you that giving up on your dreams is something that you can't just decide that you're going to give up. You have to take into consideration all the things that you're giving up alongside your dreams, and I'm going to outline some of them now. So number one, it weakens your character and your self-esteem, right? You go after this dream, you believe in yourself, and then when you give up, what are you really saying? You're saying that you don't deserve it. You're saying that you don't have what it takes. Imagine what that does to you. Imagine what that does to your will, right? If you give up on your dreams, and let's say so you've settled into this mediocre life, and let's say you have like a tiny dream of taking the kids to Disney World or some tiny goal. Your self-esteem is going to be low from giving up on those dreams, that you may not be able to give up. You may not be able to follow through on smaller goals, right? It may be really hard. Number two, I read this quote the other day that said, I was going to give up, and then I saw who was watching, right? It makes those who love you discouraged when you give up on your dreams, because they love you so much, they believe in you so much that you can do it. And then when you give up, the people you love hurt. They do. They hurt, right? Number three, what I realized when I gave up on my dreams is that, I put a ton of time and money and resources into developing myself. I put a ton of energy into it, and I gave it all up for nothing. I had to start, when I got online, I had to start all over again. It was like I had to start right from the beginning, and all that. It felt like it was wasted, right? And the other point is, you're going to regret it on your deathbed, right? Another, it's kind of like a weird, morbid exercise I do with myself sometimes when I'm discouraged and I want to give up is, I flash forward to the future, like hopefully when I'm super old and everything, and I'm thinking back on my life, and I think back on what would have happened if I would have given up on that dream. I get really, really sad when I picture that. The truth is if I give up on my dream, that is exactly what's going to happen. So, Jane passed away young to cancer, and that's really sad. I know what that's like. My mom passed away really young too when I was 8, And it puts things into perspective when someone you love, their life is ended so fast, and it makes you realize that, giving up is not an option, because your life has to be worth something, right? And the last thing I want to just say, like Nandi said, you're sacrificing your freedom. When you give up on your dreams, you are sacrificing your freedom, your freedom in the way that someone else gets to tell you what to do, when to do it, gets to tell you how to spend your time, when to go to the bathroom. You're at the mercy of a boss. If you want to survive in this world, you need money, right? If you're going to give up on your dreams, you're going to give up on being an entrepreneur, you got to get a job or else you're not going to survive. And you hand over your freedom when you do that. So the last thing that I just want to share, and I realize my face is like a scary campfire face, so you guys can just turn off my face and listen to my voice. I promise I'm done soon. Another thing that you can do when you're feeling really discouraged is plugging into the right community, right? Borrow motivation. If you don't have motivation to go after your dreams and you want to give up, borrow some freaking motivation. Borrow motivation from a community. If you plug into our Facebook group, you can borrow motivation from us. Borrow motivation from videos. I remember I went through this phase where I would Google inspiring videos on YouTube, and I just watched every single one of them until my mind was right to work on my business again. One of the videos that I want to share with you is this one. I think Les Brown did it. I'm just going to read it off here. I think it's called I Challenge You. Right? I think this is the exact same video that we have in our Facebook group that gets posted every day. So thanks to whoever does that. I'm not sure who. But I often go in our group and I just listen to it. And as I'm reading this off, I'm going to just be hearing, I think it's Les's voice as he's saying these words. So excuse me if I put on like this fake Les Brown voice. Okay? So this is how it starts out. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you're working toward that dream. But that dream that you're holding in your mind that it's possible, some of you already know that it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. In the process of chasing your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of pain. There will be moments when you are going to doubt yourself. You'll say, why? God, why? Why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children, my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. How does this have to happen to me? For those of you who have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. The rough times are going to come, but they will not stay. They will come to pass. Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, godlike feature that only the special among us will ever taste. It is something that truly exists in all of us. It is very important for you to believe that you are the one. Most people, they raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. They stop growing, they stop working on themselves, they stop stretching, they stop pushing themselves. A lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? One is because of fear. The fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if things do work out and I can't handle it? These are not risk takers. You've spent so much time with other people. You've spent so much time trying to get people to like you. You know other people more than you know yourself. You've studied them. You know about them. You want to hang out like them. You want to be just like them. And you know what? You've invested so much time in them, you don't even know who you are. I challenge you to spend time by yourself. It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life if you want to live your dream. For people chasing their dreams, life has a special sort of meaning. When you become the right person, what you do is you start separating yourself from other people. You begin to have a certain uniqueness. As long as you follow other people, as long as you're being a copycat, you will never, ever be the best copycat in the world. I challenge you to define your value. Not everyone will see it. Not everyone will join you. Not everyone will have the vision. It's necessary to know that you are an uncommon breed. It's necessary that you align yourself with people and attract people into your business. people who are hungry, people who are unstoppable and unreasonable, people who refuse to live life just as it is and who want more. The people who are living their dreams are the people who know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them. If you want to be successful, if you want to have and do stuff you've never done before, I challenge you to invest in you. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. You don't have to go through life being a victim. And even though you face disappointments, you must know within yourself that you can do this. Even if no one helps you to see it, you must see it for yourself. This is what I believe, and I am willing to die for it, period. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. Some of you right now, you want to go to the next level. You want to be a civil engineer. You want to counsel. You want to be a doctor. Listen to me. You can't get to that level. You can't get to that level until you start to invest in your mind. I dare you to invest in your mind. I dare you to invest time. I dare you to be alone. I dare you to spend an hour alone to get to know yourself. So it goes on and on. And basically at the end, I didn't realize it would be this long, but basically at the end, the guy says, when you die, die on E. What that means is when you're driving down the road and you're broke, sometimes you run out of gas, and you'll see that you're driving on E, right? When you die, die on E. That means spend all the gas in your tank. Spend all the motivation and passion in your life that you can, so that when you die, you're on empty. There's nothing left. You've held nothing back. So that's all I have for today. If you want that motivational video, I promise you it's much more impressive when Les Brown does it than me. Just Google inspiring videos and you'll probably find it, and just listen to it every day to borrow some motivation so that you don't give up. So that's it. Thanks, Nettie.
Thanks, Miss Shirley May. Les Brown is so powerful, so powerful. And the words that you read to us, well, your whole time on the air here, it's so powerful, and his words are powerful. But that ending that you gave with spend your life on E. How many people dream of a dream and don't go after it? Don't do that. Go after your dream, gang. And I got to move right along here now, and I'm going to head to Morgan and let her tell us what she believes in not quitting on your dream.
Thanks, Nettie. Wow, Shirley, my eyes are watering pretty much for most of what you're actually saying. It was really powerful. That Les Brown video, I've watched it 1,000 times. I think Sean puts it in our Facebook group, and I watch it all the time. And I've recommended it, to other people to watch as well. It's so powerful, even the music behind it, all the words and everything like that. So thanks so much for reading that out. That's awesome. What can I say about dreams? I think the first thing I want to say is that when you are a little kid, well, when I was a little kid, my mum always would tell me that, I could do anything. And that was, I think, one of the greatest gifts that she could have given me. And to dream, and that basically nothing is out of your reach. And now that I've got children and I look to them, I think, I want to implant the same message on them. And what my question today is, why do we as adults not do what we are trying to teach our children? Like, I would never in one heartbeat of a second ever say to my girls, not that they can understand me right now, but I would never say, there may be some dreams that you can't achieve. Some of them you'll get to, but some of them might just be too difficult. I would never for a second ever say that, and I can't imagine anybody that I know that would ever say that to their children, because we are almost trained that that's how you're meant to raise children. We're trained to give them, all the necessary tools. But then when we get to our age as adults, why is it that we don't take that knowledge on board ourselves? I find that really, really fascinating, because it's just like we're teaching something to our children, but we're not actually taking it on board ourselves. And I know, all of us on the panel, I know for certain would never ever quit on their dreams, and I know most of, everyone in our team wouldn't quit on their dreams, but there's definitely adults out there, I think, that talk to their children, so positively, teaching them, to not quit on your dreams, but then when it comes to their own dreams, they kind of shy away, and they might start something and they don't have the, the courage to continue on. And, my message today is, treat yourself like you treat your children. If you think that you're going to give your children everything in the world, you deserve the same yourself. When you get to be an adult, you don't have your parents there anymore telling you what they told you when you were little. But you have to do it for yourself when you're older. So that's kind of the first thing that I just wanted to say. Just say today. I think one of the other things I find fascinating is you have to fall in love with the process of your dream. So, building an online business is not easy, but neither is anything. I mean, getting my law degree wasn't easy either. But I think because when you're getting a law degree, it's like everything is so structured, and there's been so many thousands of people that have gone before you, and you pay so much money for it, that there's not a doubt in your mind that this isn't going to work. You kind of, sometimes you might have the thoughts, I might not pass this paper, or maybe I'll get a C for this paper or whatever, but because of the infrastructure and the amount of backing that a degree has, you automatically think, it's possible. But when it comes to, and my dream was my dream at that time, getting my law degree was my dream, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I had this dream, and I achieved it because I had so much backing from everybody in society. When you come to running either a network marketing business, a home-based business, even a small boutique, offline business or an online business, it's not mainstream. It's off the beaten track, and that isn't to say that it's not a good thing to do, because that's the complete opposite. Because it's off the beaten track, there's not all that infrastructure of support behind your building of your online business. Your doubts start to creep in, and that is what shapes your dream. I never for 1 second had a shaky dream when I was going through law school, because there was thousands of other people, all my peers around me doing it, all the lecturers who were high up, every university, every person supported me because it was a law degree, and it was so amazing. Now you're doing something like online marketing, and I still have supportive people in my group now, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's frowned upon, but it's not, in society, it's not like, yay, go and start an online business. You don't have that support. So that is when you need to really look inside yourself and say, this is my dream, and I've got to rely on myself. I have to pull the strength from myself, because it's not out there freely anymore, because I've gone off the beaten track. And that's with anything in society. Anything you don't do that is mainstream, you're going to find people that are going to try and pull you down. They don't understand. They're not in the community that you're in. They don't quite get it yet. And you just have to rely on yourself. And so back to, falling in love with the process of growing, the process of learning, the process of trying to do something and finding it so challenging that you want to throw your laptop out the window, and then going to bed in a big huff, and then waking up the next day and starting fresh. Doing that process and looking back, you get better and better and better. And then now today that I've been doing this almost 2 years, I never have those moments anymore. I still have technical challenges when I'm trying to do something that I haven't done before, but my skills that I've acquired over the 2 years, my skills of patience, my skills of being able to allow the situation to happen and just unfold instead of letting negativity kind of bombard me like I used to, everything is so much easier. And so, when you're following your dreams, it doesn't have to be, you could be following any type of dream. It doesn't have to be, an online business, but just realize that there are going to be times when you feel like you're failing, but you're never ever going to move to that next step unless you fail like 100 or more times. Because when you fail in your mind, and it's called failing, which I don't actually believe in, but when you say you fail, that's all you are doing is essentially realizing, okay, that's not working, so I've got to find another way. And if you didn't fail, then how are you ever going to find all the different options and bring your dream together in the most powerful and unique way possible? If you were to do something and everything just worked out completely perfectly, you would never learn a thing. What would you ever learn? So if you're going to follow your dreams and you're not going to learn anything, then it's, everybody would be doing it. If it was that easy, and this is a cliche statement, but if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. And then would it really be a tangible dream that you would really want to achieve? You have to, it's just, I feel like I've gone off on a tangent, but I'm just going to look at my notes because I've written a few things down. One of the other things that I've found recently with having my kids, when you're a single person, there's not that many things that get in your way, okay? There are a few things that get in your way, but when you have got other people dependent on you, your family members, your husband, you've got other jobs within the house, you've got your kids, things can distract you from your dream. And what I've learnt recently, and I think this is just because my children are in their first year of life, and I didn't know this, but apparently kids get sick in the first year of life, like 24/7. They've always got colds and sniffles, and then I get them, and it's like I feel like I'm got like a cold like once a month, which is not normally what happens. So when I was when it was just me working on my dream, there wasn't a lot that could get in my way, and I had a lot of free time and a lot of I could just get on with it, But now that I've got these obstacles, my message to you today is that there's no excuse good enough to not do the work that you need to do. Okay, so if you've got this dream, and you've got a cold and your kids are sick and they're screaming, you just have to actually take any opportunity you can to work on it. You can't just say, I'm not going to do anything this week because I've had a really tough week, they haven't slept all week, and I'm just going to take a few days off, because it will just keep compounding. You've just got to keep doing a little bit every single day, working towards your dream, because you actually don't know when you're going to be unable to do some work from outside circumstances. So my advice with regards to that is, if you're out there and there's things getting in your way, don't let something hold you back. Just push through it, and actually on that particular day when things are in complete chaos, I'm not saying to be really strict on yourself, but don't use it as an excuse to have 3 days off your business because you haven't had sleep for one night. Like you've just got to push through, and when you push through, that's going to give you the strength. And I've found myself getting so much stronger and building so much strength, and I know that I can do work on 4 hours sleep, and I know that I can do this, and this when all these things are happening. But if you're a bit too precious, and I say this in a nice way, but if you become too precious about things, and you can't do this and you can't do this because of this happening, obstacles are going to continue to get in your way, because you're going to create them, because it's going to be like an external barrier in your mind, internal barrier in your mind, that you're going to keep creating these obstacles that are going to come in front of your dream, because it's just a habit, right? So just push through any obstacles you can, and I've become really, really good at this recently. Just little things that make me not motivated, and I just say, well, I'm just gonna get over it, and I'm just gonna do just a little something. The last thing I want to share, because I can see that it's getting to the end of our time, but the last thing I want to share is, when you have a dream, you need to invest in that dream to such a high level that you can't back out. This is what I've done in my business. Okay, so you've got to go all in your business. You've got to invest financially. You've got to invest emotionally. You've got to get to a point where you think to yourself, holy shit, if I quit this dream, I've just wasted X amount of dollars. I've wasted X amount of time. I will let down all these people. I've built such a foundation around me that if I quit, it's just make it so hard to quit that you have to second guess it like 100 times. You have to think about it and sleep on it for a month, and you just continue to kind of press on, and things will get better. Seriously, things will get better if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. If you say to yourself, okay, this is my dream, and I'm gonna dangle my toes in, I'm going to I can use our products as an example. I'm going to buy the blogging platform for $25 a month, and I'm going to do a couple of blogs, and I'm going to see how it goes, and if I feel like it's working, I'm going to blah blah blah. That's fine to do at the beginning, but after a while, you need to get to a position where you are just so passionate and so invested that it can't but fail. It can't but succeed. Because if you don't get to that level, there is a really, really high chance that you will quit, because things come up, things are hard, and you're just not. You don't have that backstop of all that stuff that you've already invested. You've already put in, and I think that's what kept me going in the beginning. I'd invested so much time, so much money, so much commitment getting things going, hours learning Facebook PPC, just so many things that I'd done, that if I quit, it would just be like such a waste, and I would always be resentful, and I would always be jealous of people who who succeeded, you know, who perhaps was in it at the same time as I was, and if I'd quit, and what if they succeeded? You know, I always thought about that, and I was like, I can't allow that to happen. Like, I cannot have those feelings and just continue to live my life as a normal 9-to-5 job person, knowing that there's something else out there that I was so close to getting to, but I just didn't push that little bit harder. And, you know, I just couldn't live with those feelings, and it would just kill me inside. I just know it would. So, and I think everyone deep down knows that that would kill them as well. If you've got a dream and you invested so heavily in it, you know that you can quit, but you also know the pain, the immense pain that you will go through, and the results that when you don't get those results, the immense pain that you'll go through when you see other people succeeding and you see your life as it is 2 years down the track and you haven't achieved what you have achieved. So I'm going to leave it there, but just, yeah, keep on trucking on. Don't let anything hold you back, one step at a time. And if things are getting tough, just do one little thing in your business, one little thing, send one email, do something little to push yourself that little bit forward. Don't just go to bed on a sad note thinking this is so difficult. Do something that you can do in that moment on a positive note, then go to bed, start fresh the next day. That's what I do. So I hope that's helped, guys, and I look forward to hearing from Erica and Kristen. Thanks, Nettie.
Thanks, Morgan. Thank you very much. And I'm going to move right along to Kristen right now and let her talk.
Oh, you guys are so amazing. Like, every time I'm on this panel, I don't know, I just feel so grateful because I'm constantly inspired. And I'm going to talk really, really fast because I have a lot to say. And I'm going to be brutally honest. You might hate me after this, but I'm going to lecture you and rant to you just like I rant to myself. And I'm not nice to myself because you can't be. Because our dreams are too big. Our dreams are too important. What we're doing is too important to be nice. And so here it goes. I'm morbid like Shirley. And what I do to keep myself motivated is I don't push it out to when I'm 90 years old and I'm on my deathbed. I think about what would happen if I died tomorrow. What would happen if my life ended tomorrow? How are people going to remember me? Are people going to remember me as somebody who, they gave it a try but didn't really get too far? Or am I going to be remembered by somebody who followed my dreams, accomplished everything I set my mind to? And because I feel like if you push if you say, well, you know what, I have until I'm 90, well, guess what? You keep playing the whole tomorrow game. Tomorrow it's going to happen, tomorrow it's going to happen, tomorrow it's going to happen. You might not have tomorrow. So what are you going to do today to make it happen? What if today was your last day? And yeah, there are nights I go to bed and I'm like, shit, I really pray that tonight's not my last night because I really screwed up. And the next thing that I'm going to go further on from what Shirley said, there's a time when you're going to, especially in the beginning, when you have to draw the motivation from other people, from outside sources. But that's not going to last. That is not going to keep you in the business. That's not going to keep you following your dreams. There has to come a point in your life where you don't need outside motivation anymore, where you can draw all the inspiration, all the motivation from yourself. And this is something that I've actually struggled with for a very long time because I was constantly looking for validation. I was constantly looking for that pat on the shoulder saying, you're doing a good job. And you ask my parents. I go to them and say, what do you think about this? I was constantly looking for someone to say, Kristen, you're on the right track. You're doing good. And when you have that need for validation for your dreams, you're going to look at the obstacles and they're going to become much bigger than what they really are. It's kind of like the whole idea. I heard this one time. I forget who said it, where I learned it from, but they said, it's not about seeing how big the obstacles are, and it's not about making your obstacles smaller. It's about you making yourself bigger than your problems. And that's what this is all about. That's how you don't quit on your dreams, when you make yourself bigger than what you have to go through. So there's a few things that I want to share because I really believe that success happens when you own your dreams, when you take responsibility. There's nothing, and I'm sorry for the language, but it pisses me off. Like, I get so angry when people quit on their dreams. But it's one thing to quit on your dreams and say, you know what, it just wasn't for me. You know what, I decided that I would rather live my life doing this. It's just, then I have all the respect in the world. What I don't have respect in the world for is people who look for excuses. And like Morgan was talking about, using your excuses or your, those obstacles to push you further. Well, the people who allowed those obstacles and those excuses to become the reason why they had to quit. It's called self-responsibility. Take responsible for yourself. Take responsible for your dreams. Because when you do this, they become so much more powerful. They become something that you can't quit on. Like, quitting can't even be an option. There are days where I have bad days. There's days when I look at wasted time and I say, why did I do that? But I don't remember the last time I honestly thought maybe I should quit. That's not even, it's like when you get married, if you think divorce is an option, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to get a divorce. Like, it's, because the moment something hard comes into your life, you're going to be like, you know what, maybe this marriage isn't worth it, and you're going to get a divorce. Where if divorce is not an option, you're going to learn how to work through the problems. So make quitting not an option. Like, it's just not an option. So there's a few things that I want to share with you about how to really, I believe, like, dig really deep to take responsibility for your dreams and really own it, and stop looking on the outside for that outside validation that you're doing a good job. Yes, you need this. Okay, backtrack a little bit. I'm trying to do this fast, which is messing with me. Erica's boot camp that she does, oh my gosh, it's absolutely amazing. But to me, it's all about perspective on how you look at this. I see her boot camp as something that it gives you structure, especially for the new person, which is who she focuses on. It provides you with that structure so you don't have that overwhelm. What it shouldn't become is like that babysitter of, well, you have to have this. It can't become a crutch. It becomes just something to help you. It's a building block. So there's a difference between, having those structured boot camps, having those structured, obviously, the communities, and having that outside motivation, compared to having that inspiration that comes from deep within, that does not allow you. So I do want to make sure to differentiate that, that you can't do this on your own. I know that's one of the questions Erica asked in our well-formed outcome is, can you do this on your own? And the answer is no. You can't do this on your own. You do need trainings, products, tools, a community. You need that. In the same sense, what is going to keep you from quitting is yourself. So Nikki, I never can say her last name, Nikki Magdalena, I believe is how you say it. If you aren't friends with her on Facebook, just follow her. She's super awesome. And she actually posted something that I have gone back to so many times, and it says, you are the source of everything you've created and defined as you. What do you know about you that you've been pretending not to know and waiting for someone else to see or acknowledge? Let me say that again. What do you know about you that you've been pretending not to know and waiting for someone else to see or acknowledge? And she goes on to say, deep self-inquiry always gets me farther than looking outside myself for an answer. When you think about your dreams, when you think about your goals, you have to think about why you want it. And don't go to the outside, because that's when you allow outside sources to come in. And that's actually what makes your dreams harder, because you get that negative influence from other people. Where if you're constantly just going on to the inside, looking at yourself, then none of the outside influences are gonna matter, negative or positive. And so there's one last thing that I want to read to you, and then I'm going to bring this to a close. This is from the book, The 50th Law. I've read this book a few times, and I highly recommend it. It has this like gritty, powerful message that it helps you to dig deep. And it's all about becoming self-reliant, and it's all about taking ownership of your dreams, taking ownership of your goals, taking ownership of what you are doing with this life. So this is from that book. It says, your whole life has been an education in developing the skills and self-reliance necessary for creating your own venture, being your own boss. But there is one last impediment to making this work. Your tendency will be to look at what other people have done in your field, how you could possibly repeat or emulate their success. You can gain some power with such a strategy, but it won't go far, and it won't last. Understand, you are one of a kind. Your character traits are a kind of chemical mix that will never be repeated in history. There are ideas unique to you, a specific rhythm and perspective that are strengths, not your weaknesses. You must not be afraid of your uniqueness, and you must care less and less what people think of you. This uniqueness that you express is not anything wild or too strange. That is an affection in itself, or affectation. People are rarely that different. Rather, you are being yourself as far as you can take that. The world cannot help but respond to such authenticity. So that is going to be how I end this message, is simply saying, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to really take ownership of your dreams, of your goals. Make them your own, because when you make them your own, you can't give up on them. You know, if you're doing this because somebody is telling you that you should do that, you know, again, those obstacles are going to be so much bigger than what they are. So make yourself bigger than everything around you. Take ownership and say, no matter what, I'm not going to quit. Because, you know, again, people are watching you. Like everyone has already said, Nettie, Shirley, Morgan, they've all said, people are watching you. And to be honest with you, and I tell myself this, days that I don't work my business like I should be are my selfish days. Those are days when I've allowed myself to become selfish, self-centered, and I stop and I'm not thinking about the people that I'm affecting. My family, friends, there are people who are counting on us to make our dreams come true. Why? Because they want to dream again too. You know, I don't believe that we were born not to dream. I don't believe we weren't born to not have goals. But people are too afraid. And it's people like us who finally make the decision to make it happen. But if we quit, we're telling everyone around us, you know what? Dreaming's not worth it. You know what? Just settle in life. And that's selfish. So go deep inside. Look into yourself. Really figure out why it is that you want to do this. Figure out what it is that's going to keep you going. And don't look for validation from other people. You have everything that it takes inside of you right now. So back to you, Nettie.
Awesome. Well, awesome. Thank you for those very, very powerful words, Kristen. And I'm going to move right along because we're getting low on time, and I want Erica to be able to express what her feelings too.
It would help if I unmuted myself. Hey guys, welcome, good evening. Gosh, you know, it is really, really hard, you know, trying to bring up the tail end of these powerful women when they speak. I have one dream, and that is this. I have a dream that one day people will look at people making money online as normal. Like what we do here will be normal, and having a job will be like, oh my God, you still have one of those? Like, I would love the day when this whole concept of making a living online is just so like, oh, of course everyone's doing it. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to something that is, oh my God, really? You're doing that thing? You're still trying to make that thing work? Do you know what I'm saying? One other thing I would like to share is that I think sometimes people think they have to have these big, monstrous dreams. Like they have to be, you know, you've heard the expression, you know, if your dreams aren't big enough, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. I've never resonated with that message. I really haven't. I'm going to be a little bit controversial here. For me, I shared this last week or the week before, beg your pardon, my dream was so little. You know, like Alex and I, we used to work on cruise ships, and as glamorous as parts of our life were, we just craved freedom. We just wanted to be free. And one of the dreams we had that we held on to so dearly was this vision of Alex and I having a picnic, walking beside a river with a dog, right? We didn't know where the river was. We didn't know which country it was in, anything like that. And for some, that's a really pathetic dream, right? It's so small. Like anyone can walk a dog by a river. Well, we couldn't. We couldn't have a dog, and we certainly couldn't have a lazy picnic where there wouldn't be a ship's horn calling us back at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, people who have normal lives take so many things for granted. Things like having a picnic and walking by a river with a dog. People outside of our world think that's just normal. Like, oh, anyone can do that. Well, where I came from, you couldn't. And so we really craved those really basic, simple luxuries that so many normal people take for granted. And I'll never forget the day we actually did that was just a few months ago. And I remember, you know, Alex and I, we just held each other's hand because, you know, now we had a little Lucy and we had our picnic and we were by a river. And without realizing it, we'd achieved one of our dreams. We had stepped into that vision that we had. So sometimes I think that, a lot of people think their dreams need to be really grandiose. They need to be, oh my God, I have to have, this certain car and this mansion by the beach, and I've got to be, a fabulously New York best time selling author and stuff like that. And that's great, But what if your dreams are just really simple dreams? Like, I just want to be at home with my kids. I just want to take my kids to school and be there when they come home. What if your dreams are just small, right? Does that mean they're any less important than people who have these really big dreams? No. But I think sometimes we discount those little dreams. So what I want to leave you with is that no matter how big or small your dreams are, make them mean something to you, so that when you hit those moments of challenge, you will just remember that your dreams are worth it, no matter how big they are or how small they are. For me, I've always had little dreams, which mean a lot to me, but they keep me motivated, right? And one of the things, I speak to a lot of people in this industry when they're just kind of coming online for the very first time, and I ask them what their dreams are. And you would be shocked that I would say 90% of the people I speak to, their dreams are something like this. Erica, I just want to wake up without an alarm clock. That doesn't sound like a big thing, does it, right? But for some people, that's huge. I want to wake up when the sun comes in the window. Doesn't sound like a lot, does it? I want to have a nice leisurely breakfast with my husband and my kids. Again, it doesn't sound like a lot, right? But to some people, these are huge dreams, right? I think one of the things that our industry gets, I need to wrap up, but gets a really, really bad rap for, is they think that us in this industry, we're going after these big materialistic goals, right? How would it be if we actually shared what our real visions are? That some of them are just really, really simple, really, really basic. We want to be better parents. We want to be better husbands and wives. We want to set better standards for those around us. We want to help other people in our community realize that making a living online is normal. It's normal. Come on, we're in the 21st century here. Everyone has a laptop. Everyone has a computer. Everyone has an iPhone, right? This should be normal. It should be something that, crazy ladies do in the middle of the afternoon, okay? This should be normal. Why not spread that message? There's one thing I did write down that I want to leave you with, and that is this: the distance between your dreams and reality is called action. Darlings, I don't care how long it takes you to get to your definition of your dream. Just keep moving in that direction. And I say this so many times, it's not a question of if you're going to make it, it's just a question of when. Yes, we have some rock stars and they make it in a 30-second dash, right? But I also know some people, like, the founder of our company, it took him 7 years. 7 years. I know a very dear friend in Australia, it took her 20 years to reach her dream. But she didn't quit because it didn't take 90 days, and it didn't take 180 days, and it didn't take 3 years. No, she waited 20 years. She kept showing up, right? And I think one of the biggest, and I'm winding up right now, one of the biggest fallacies in our industry is that people say, it's got to happen in 90 days, right? I think we need to throw stuff like that out the freaking window and allow people to just understand it'll happen when it happens. And it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. When you show up every single day, when you tune into inspirational hangouts like this, when you watch inspirational videos like our team is supposed to watch every single day, when you read every day, when you listen to inspiring audios, you are getting that step closer every single day to getting your dream. So darlings, hold on to your dreams, however big or however small they are, and just know that you've got this. You've got this. If there's anyone else in this industry that has what you want, you can have it too. It's just a matter of showing up every day. Darlings, we've hit the top of the hour. Ladies on the panel, you kicked it out of the park tonight. I'm so blessed to be with you every single Monday night. Thank you so much. And to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. Nettie, back to you, darling.
Thank you, dear. And I couldn't agree with you more on the fact that they all kicked it out of the ballpark. Excuse my glasses tonight. My eyes are so sore. But I just want to close on something that, when every avenue looks like it's a dead end and you feel like you've exhausted every possibility, you haven't. You haven't. There's always other ways. There's always another opportunity there to attack your business. There's always other options. Even if you don't see it right now, they are there, so do not give up. You know, I think there's a heavyweight champion called Jack Dempsey, and he once said, a champion is one who gets back up when he can't. People who reach their dreams keep going when they think they can't. They're tenacious, and as a result, they keep moving closer to their dream every day, day by day. And some days you might think that you're only moving a few inches at a time, but that's moving forward. So don't ever give up on your dreams. And I mean, not on our watch, okay? We're here tonight, and you cannot quit on your dream. End of story, period. That's it. And on that note, I'm going to say goodnight. But please, if you think you would like to join our team, we'd love to have you on in our tribe. Click that button below and get started right away, because we have people joining us all the time, and we're family here. We don't give up on our dreams, and we encourage you to go after yours. So please click that button below. If you were invited here by somebody else tonight, get back to them. Talk to them about joining. And if you want to reach out to any of us, we're always, always available. And I want to thank you again for joining us tonight. We'll be back here next Monday night, same time, same place, different topic. Okay? So y'all have a great week. Take care.